Hi, I'm Ethan. You know those moments when your whole world shifts? Yeah, I'm living through one right now, and trust me, you'll want to hear this story. 5 years ago, I married Sarah, my college sweetheart. We had it all planned out: careers, house in the suburbs, and a couple of kids running around the backyard. But life had other plans. After trying for 3 years with no luck, I decided to get checked out privately. That's when I got the news that hit hard. "I'm sorry, Ethan, but the tests are conclusive. You're infertile," the doctor had said, examining my results. I sat there alone in his office, my world crumbling. I never told Sarah. I couldn't bear to break her heart or see the disappointment in her eyes. Instead, I suggested we stop actively trying and focus on our careers for a while. She agreed, thinking we were just taking a break. Sarah threw herself into her marketing job, and I buried myself in my architecture firm. Then, last week, everything changed. "Ethan, I'm pregnant." Sarah burst into our bedroom, waving a pregnancy test. "Can you believe it? We're finally having a baby." I stood there, frozen, my secret knowledge weighing heavy on my chest. That's amazing, honey." My sister Emma dropped by that evening to celebrate. She's the only one who knows about my condition. "Just got the great news." She hugged me tight, then whispered, "Are you okay?" "We'll talk later," I muttered. That night, my best friend Mike called. Being a hospital administrator has made him annoyingly thorough, and he's the one who helped me get tested discreetly 2 years ago. "Hey man, Sarah just posted the news online. You doing all right?" "I don't know what to think, Mike." "Want me to do some digging?" "Not yet. Let me figure some things out first." I started noticing things after that. Little things. How Sarah kept her phone face down now. How she'd take calls in another room. How she'd changed her password recently. "Hey, who's messaging you so late?" I asked casually one night. "Oh, just work stuff. You know how crazy it gets with the new clients." She pulled her phone closer, angling it away from me. "Since when does marketing need late-night responses?" "Since we landed the Peterson account. Their overseas team has different hours." But I saw the contact name before she turned away. It wasn't her company's name. It was James, with a simple period after it. That night, I lay awake, watching Sarah sleep peacefully beside me. The moonlight caught her wedding ring, and I remembered how proud I'd been placing it on her finger. Now that same hand clutched her phone even in sleep, and I felt something cold settle in my stomach. I picked up my phone and texted Mike. "Remember that favor you offered? I need it now." His response came quickly. "Come by my office tomorrow. We'll figure this out." I walked into Mike's office first thing in the morning, feeling like I hadn't slept in days. "You look terrible, man." "Thanks for stating the obvious. What did you find?" "Well, I checked the records. Sarah never visited any fertility clinic in our hospital network. But that's not all. Your wife's company is having their annual party this weekend. Might be worth showing up." "Already planning to. Sarah mentioned it yesterday." The party was at some fancy hotel downtown. Sarah had been extra excited about it, spent hours picking out a dress. Now I knew why. The moment we walked in, I saw him. Tall, well-dressed, confident. James from the marketing team. "Oh, you must be Ethan." A woman approached us. "I'm Lisa, James's wife. Sarah talks about you all the time." Sarah tensed beside me. "Lisa, hi. I didn't know you were coming tonight." James finally convinced me to stop being such a homebody. "Plus, I wanted to meet the famous Ethan. Sarah mentioned you're having a baby. We've been trying too." I watched Sarah's face pale slightly. "How wonderful," she managed. My sister Emma showed up later. Turns out Mike had filled her in on the situation, and she'd pulled some strings to get an invitation. "The way they look at each other when they think no one's watching," Emma whispered to me at the bar. "Ethan, they're not even being subtle." I gripped my glass tighter. "Keep watching them. I need to check something." I headed to the restroom but took a detour past James and Sarah talking in a quiet corner. "We need to be more careful," Sarah was saying. "Lisa's getting suspicious." "Everything will work out. Trust me." Back home that night, Sarah fell asleep on the couch while watching TV. Her tablet, the one we shared for streaming services, was still open. A message notification popped up. "James, miss you already." My hands shaking, I opened their message thread. Hundreds of messages going back months, plans, meetups, love declarations. But one message made my blood run cold. "Don't worry about the test results. We'll tell him it's a miracle baby." I called Mike immediately. "Found something?" "Yeah, but I need more. Can you check if Sarah had any appointments at other hospitals?" "Already did. But here's something interesting. James and Sarah have been signing in at the Riverside Medical Center regularly for the past few months." "That's across town. Why would they?" "It's a fertility clinic, Ethan, a private one. And get this, James had some tests done there too." "What kind of tests?" "Fertility tests. All clear on his end, if you know what I mean." "One more thing," Mike added. "That clinic specializes in helping couples who have trouble conceiving. They maintain detailed records of all treatments and biological contributors." "Get me those records." "Already working on it. But Ethan, whatever we find, you need to be prepared." "Trust me, Mike. I'm done being unprepared." A week after getting the clinic records, I organized a dinner party. Sarah was thrilled with the idea. "We should invite James and Lisa, and your boss, Catherine, too. She's been so understanding about my morning sickness." "Great idea. Mike and Emma will be there too." The evening started perfectly. Sarah was glowing, playing the perfect hostess. James kept his distance, playing the role of casual coworker. But Lisa, she was watching them like a hawk. "Sarah, you look amazing for someone in their first trimester," Lisa said sweetly. "When exactly did you start your fertility treatments?" Sarah choked on her water. "What treatments?" "The ones at Riverside Medical Center. You know, where my cousin works as a nurse?" The room went dead silent. James dropped his fork. "I think it's time we all had an honest conversation." I stood up, pulling out a folder. "Catherine, would you like to start?" Sarah's boss cleared her throat. "I brought the security footage you asked for, Ethan. Shows Sarah and James entering and leaving the storage room on multiple occasions during lunch breaks." "That's not—" "We were working on presentations," Sarah protested. "In a supply closet?" Catherine raised an eyebrow. "I respected you, Sarah, but this behavior, it's unacceptable." "Ethan, baby, they're trying to make me look bad. You know I love you." "Like you loved me?" Lisa cut in. "James, show him your phone. Show him the messages where you two planned everything." "Lisa, please," James begged. "No, I'm done covering for you. 3 months ago, I found their messages. They'd been seeing each other for almost a year. Then Sarah came up with this brilliant plan about a miracle pregnancy." Emma stepped forward with more papers. "These are the records from Riverside Medical Center. Proves you two were going there together. For fertility treatments." "You had no right to access those?" James stood up angrily. "Actually, as her husband, I had every right," I said quietly. "Just like I had the right to know about my own infertility 2 years ago. The condition I never told you about, Sarah." Sarah's face went white. "What?" "Yeah, surprise. I've known I couldn't have children since before you started your little affair. So tell me, how exactly did this miracle happen?" "Ethan, I can explain. Save it. Mike, show them what else we found." Mike pulled out the final document, DNA test results from the fertility clinic. "You didn't just cheat, Sarah. You and James planned this whole pregnancy. Found out I was infertile somehow, probably through those hospital records you kept accidentally finding on my desk. Then decided to have his baby and pass it off as mine." "It's not what you think." Sarah was crying now. "Really? Because I think it's exactly what it looks like. An affair, a pregnancy, a cover-up, and now?" I looked around the table. The truth. The divorce proceedings moved quickly. Sarah's parents showed up at my office the next day. "We raised her better than this." Sarah's mom wiped her eyes. "We're behind you, Ethan." "Thanks, that means a lot." "We've already told her she's not welcome at home until she comes clean about everything," her father added. "The baby, what are you going to do?" "Nothing. It's not my child, not my responsibility." Catherine called an emergency board meeting at their company. I sat there watching Sarah and James squirm as she presented the evidence. "Beyond the affair, we have multiple complaints of inappropriate workplace behavior." Other employees felt uncomfortable with your public displays of affection. You used company resources and time for personal matters. This isn't just unprofessional, it's grounds for termination. You can't do this. James slammed his fist on the table. Actually, we can. And we are. Lisa has already provided copies of your messages discussing company information during your encounters. Later that week, Mike brought more news to our regular Friday night gathering. The fertility clinic is under investigation now. Apparently, they failed to properly verify consent forms. Several couples have come forward. Karma's got a mean right hook, Emma grinned, passing me a beer. My phone buzzed. Another message from Sarah. Still blowing up your phone? Mike asked. Yeah. Says she's sorry, that she made a mistake, that we can work it out. And I blocked her number. The support from the community was overwhelming. Lisa had joined our friend group, both of us healing from similar betrayals. She'd filed for divorce the same day I did. You know what's funny? Lisa said during one of our group therapy sessions. James and Sarah thought they were so clever. Now they're both unemployed, their reputations are ruined, and that fancy fertility clinic is facing lawsuits. Heard they tried to get jobs at other firms, Emma added, but seems like word got around pretty quick. Sarah's sister told me she's moving back to their hometown, I mentioned. Apparently no one here will hire her after what happened at their company. How are you feeling about everything? Mike asked. Honestly, better than I have in years. No more secrets, no more pretending, just freedom. The final divorce hearing was quick. Sarah sat on the other side of the courtroom, showing it 5 months now alone. James hadn't shown up to support her. Word was he'd already moved in with someone else. You've lost weight, she tried to talk to me afterward. And you've lost everything else. Goodbye, Sarah. Walking out of that courtroom, I felt lighter. Emma and Mike were waiting outside with a celebration banner. Lisa joined us for dinner, bringing news that James had been served papers that morning. To new beginnings, Mike raised his glass. And to karma, Emma added with a smirk. Later that night, I deleted the last photo of Sarah from my phone. The ultrasound picture that had once brought so much joy now reminded me that sometimes losing everything means gaining yourself back. The truth had cost me a marriage, but it had given me something better: self-respect. What would you do if you discovered your spouse had secretly accessed your medical records to plan their perfect deception? Would you expose them publicly like Ethan did, or handle it privately? Some say public exposure was too harsh and could harm the unborn child's future, while others believe Sarah and James deserved the full consequences of their elaborate betrayal. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your perspective on this ethical dilemma. And if you enjoyed this story of justice served, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life drama and revenge stories. Thanks for watching.